Now all of you look at the board, those who missed 14. He said a fraction is greater than or equal to 0. That's what he's saying. So when would a fraction become 0? When the denominator becomes 0. Agree, all of you? When the denominator becomes 0. That means your x minus 5 is 0. That means your x can be 5. X can be 5. Correct? X can be 5. So this is wrong. Is that making sense? Is that clear among all of you? If x is greater than 5, then it won't become 0 in the denominator. That means the entire fraction doesn't become 0. Correct? X has to be 5. Only then the denominator becomes 0. When x is 5, denominator becomes 0, entire fraction becomes 0. So x has, this is one condition. Now, the next one is P over Q, he says greater than 0. When would a fraction become positive? When both the numerator and denominators are positive, or when both numerator and denominators are negative. Only in these cases, the fraction becomes greater than 0. Do you all agree with that, Amma? Folks, do you all agree with that? Right?
Yeah.
Now, between these two, figure out, let's say, for example, if I plug in, let's say, he said, how about if we need to decide, does it have to be, we know this one for sure, we know that one for sure, right? And here he doesn't have any upper limit. So that means we can eliminate that one too. But let's see, does it have to be, can it be less than negative? If I plug in -1, what does it become? Okay. Can it be, I'm trying to rule out this answer choice by plugging in x equals to -1. If x equals to negative, no, -1 is actually bigger. Let's say if I plug in x equals to -3, that is, he's saying x is greater than negative, right? What if x is less than -2, which is -3? So plug in -3. What is -3 plus 2 divided by -3 minus 5? What do I get? -1 over -8, which is positive. Okay. How about if I plug in, let's say 6, because x equals to 6 is also possibility here, right? Is also possibility here. If I plug in 6, what do I get? 6 plus 2 is 8, and then 6 minus 5 is 1. So that's a positive. Okay. Okay. X can be, so x can be less than -2, correct? We just proved if x is -3, x can be less than, so B is wrong. Now, that means x can be less, if it is, let's say, more than -2. That if I pick in -1, what if I get, what do I get, if I plug in -1? -1 plus 2 is 1, and -1 minus 1 is -6. There you go. That is in less than 0. That means x has to be less than or equal to -2, or x has to be, again, this is a typo. He must have given greater than or equal to 5. That's a typo. Your answer is C. Is that making sense, everyone? Students, is that clear, Amma? If you, let's say 0, if you plug in 0, which is within that range, don't you get negative number? This becomes 2 over -5. That's a negative. So that means that won't work. So A, B are gone, only C is left. Either it has to be less than or equal to -2 or greater than or equal to 5. Is that making sense now, everyone? I think he made a typo here. It has to be greater than or equal to. Students, is that clear, Emma 14?